so that we can send it to you guys afterwards, and then as well as those who aren't able to make it.
Okay.
And I will also mute everyone, but at the end when we come for questions, you can unmute yourself to ask questions. So let's go ahead and get started. Can you guys see my screen? Nods, yes, you can see it? Okay, thank you. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. This is the TRIO Talent Search Spring Break College Tour Student Parent Meeting. Welcome everyone. Let's see if this is going to move how I need it to. There we go. So here is our agenda for today or this evening. We don't have many things to go over, but what we do have to go over is important because you as a student or as the parent, your students are going on a 3-day college tour in Chicago starting on Monday. So we want to go over some important information. And then of course, again, if you have any questions at the end, please let us know. My name is Courtney Valentine. I'm the pre-college advisor for TRIO Talent Search. And then we also have Mr. Curtis Blandon on as well. He can introduce himself.
Yes, I'm Curtis Blandon. I'm Assistant Director for TRIO Talent Search.
Awesome. Okay, so we wanted to go over a few things today. First are the eligibility requirements. So you guys have been receiving a couple emails from me and phone calls about missing documentation. So please make sure that you're looking at those emails and getting those documents in as soon as possible. As a reminder, things to be documentation to be in and to be eligible for this trip, we needed your grades or a letter of recommendation from your teacher or your counselor. We want to make sure that you had good attendance, that you didn't have any disciplinary issues at school. We also wanted to make sure that you had your Covet test. So we'll talk about that in a second, as well as what was the other thing, Mr. Blandon? Was there anything else that we said? I think that was the bigger items. Yeah, those are the bigger items. So receiving those items in and a part as well as all the application documents, right? Like you guys received about 8 pages from us. So I'm sorry it was so many, but we wanted to make sure we covered our bases and let you guys know about some important information. So as long as those things were turned in, we were ready to go with making sure you guys are good to go for the trip. So again, please make sure you turn in anything that I emailed you that you may be missing at this time. As far as the COVID policy, so that's been a big one. And we apologize. We are trying to work within not only U of I's policy, but also the colleges that we're going to, the city of Chicago at one point, but then still within the city of Chicago, there are still some places or venues that are still requiring their own COVID policies. So we're trying to work within all of that. And I know it can be a bit much and sometimes a little frustrating, but please know we're really just trying to make sure that students are able to do everything that they can on the trip. So as a reminder, at this time, we are requiring that students have 2 negative COVID tests. That is not just the vaccine, or I'm sorry, that's not the vaccination like card or being vaccinated, that's separate. This is 2 negative COVID tests. So there's the PCR test or the rapid antigen test, but not the at-home test. So we can't accept the ones that you can just take at home. And we asked that those tests be taken before yesterday, so between Sunday and Wednesday. If you were not able to take it by Wednesday, then we ask that you take it, hopefully today you had taken it. And then you send us those results as soon as they come in. Again, we are truly understanding that you guys don't have control over when those tests results come in, right? Everybody is going to a different clinic or facility. The timeline is different. So we just ask that you get it to us as soon as possible. But we hoped that by doing it in advance, we would at least have 1 negative COVID test before the student would get on the bus. Okay, we want to make sure that we have that at least that 1 before they get on the bus. As far as the second one goes, we really do need students to take a second COVID test on Saturday. The reason we do Saturday, we were trying to again do it close to the day that we're getting on the bus. So yes, we understand that some tests may not come back till Monday, maybe even Tuesday. We will not hold that against you if we have at least that one negative test from the week, this week. However, the test on Saturday, we're highly recommending that it's PCR and not rapid antigen. Again, it does kind of depend on where you go, but if you could ask them when you get there, like, hey, are you able to do a PCR test? That is ideal for the venue that we're going to on Tuesday night, because that is what they are requiring for our students, for anybody who goes into that venue to come in. So we are at the liberty, honestly, of that venue on that day to, if they're going to allow us to come in. Let's say if a student did just have to get a rapid antigen, or that's the only thing that was available to them. Again, we know it's not always in our control, or in your control. So we're hoping they're not going to be too picky, especially because they're teenagers. You know, it's just like, what can you do? But they're supposed to have a PCR test 72 hours in advance to get into that venue. So we'll see how it goes. But at the end of the day, our ask and request of you all is that you get a PCR test done on Saturday. And so obviously earlier in the morning may be better. That way, maybe we can get it back early enough. You know, that's just, you know, we just think that, like, if you go early, maybe you get it back early. You never know. Maybe the test will go in the afternoon. We don't know, but just try your best. As far as the vaccination card, so that was originally required for the trip to Chicago, but they lifted that vaccination requirement, which is great. But again, the venue on Tuesday is still requiring it, unless you couldn't do it and you're maybe a teenager with the test. Again, the venue on Tuesday is a little tricky, but we're really going to do our best to push our kids in, because it's not, you know, their fault that they don't have everything potentially. So we'll see what happens. In the meantime, though, if for some reason they're not able to go, we will make sure that we bring them back to the hotel, and they'll be able to be there with a chaperone. And we'll figure out, we'll have another plan for them during that evening. But if you do have your vaccination card, please send that to me. I believe I received mostly everybody's who has had one. And again, if you don't have one, no, that's not a problem. But we just wanted to make sure we had it on standby just in case. We will also be requiring masks the entire time. That's still going to be the case in most of the colleges that we're going to. They're still requiring it, and still the venues that we're going to, they're still requiring it. So please make sure that you have your additional masks. We also have masks that we have purchased for you guys that say Trio Talent Search on them. So we will make sure to pass those out when you arrive at the bus, but just in case, have additional masks on hand as always. And then you'll also need an ID. So you'll need either your school, your state ID, a license if you have it, some type of ID that shows who you are. If you do not have that, it's not the end of the world. Again, it's just one of the venues we're going to wants to see your negative COVID test with your name on it matched with your ID. They really want to make sure you are who you are, and you're not just showing somebody else's negative COVID test. They want to be careful and do their due diligence with the people that they're allowing into their facility. Okay, Mr. Blanton, anything I'm missing on the COVID policy?
No, that's pretty much it.
Cool. I'll let you go ahead and handle the rules.
All right, rules. I know you all signed those things. You may have forgot some of them, but we always can provide another copy to the students. It was something that was signed that was in the packet. It's the basic things. Respect.
Mr. Bland, sorry to interrupt you. Can you turn your volume up just a little bit, please?
Okay. Right, is that better?
Yes, thank you.
All right. All right. Behavior, like I said, you probably have signed the sheet and didn't really read all the rules. That's the way it is usually with my students. But we always can provide another copy for you before you get on the bus, and so you can look over it while you're on the bus. We just ask that you be on your best behavior, because you're not representing just yourself. You're also representing Trio Talent Search, also the University of Illinois, more importantly, your family, and more importantly, you. So the first thing that you present to someone, that's usually what they will remember. In the hotel, also the same things, respect their space. no outgoing calls, long distance, things like that. Do not order room service to the room, things like that, because those charges will go on you. I asked about social media. I understand everyone is on social media. Be respectful. Please don't be making any videos that will cause any uproar or anything that would maybe distasteful or anything like that. I know things go down quickly, 24 hours or whatever, but please do not make that, because once again, like I said, you're not only representing yourself, but also the program as a whole. And the Trio Nation is very large and people talk, and it eventually will trickle back to us as some way, shape, or form. As far as ordering food, we understand that you may, at the end of the night, depending on the times that we're eating, you may get a little hungry at night. We're going to try to stay away from things as far as like DoorDash or anything like that, because some places in Chicago, they're allowed to come to your rooms, and those are strangers, regardless of what. I know you may do it at home, but when you're on a trip with me and Ms. Valentine's, like a higher alert because you're someone else's kid, but you're under our supervision. So if you do get hungry, we will check to see if the hotel has a restaurant, or if you can let us know what you're actually ordering, who you're ordering through. Maybe a group you can order, so it's just one lump thing. Just make sure you let us know that, so that we always can be on alert and be there to be able to accept the food that you're getting and all those other things. It's just a safety precaution. And as Ms. Courtney said, we will be providing you masks as well as T-shirts. This is a way that you easily identified as our students. It helps us as well, helps those that are on campuses when we're touring, just as representation, just to help everyone understand that you're a part of this program. Everything is yours to keep. Um, Also on the bus, be respectful of the bus driver, be respectful of each other's space. We ask that you do distance yourself as best as possible. Being on the passenger bus, it may be a little bit difficult, but also in that space, keep your mask up unless you're eating something. But just don't make it just a habit. It's the same rules like apply in school, same things as on the bus. Then we can jump to,
Well, let me add some if you
okay,
don't mind. Nope,
go
no.
ahead.
So I have been on hundreds, honestly, of college tours. And I just want to add, as far as, again, making sure that you're understanding that you are not only representing yourself, but your family, that may be a future college that you're actually going to attend, or someone but definitely, this is about being respectful, being on your best behavior, and also really just understanding that you're there to learn, right? So you're there to take it all in and really see what it's like to be on a college campus. So we're going to be taking a tour. We're going to be walking outside. And that means we could be walking in multiple elements. I think I've looked at the weather and it should be decent so far, but we're already about to hit some snow these next 2 days. So the weather can change any moment in Chicago. But with that being said, make sure that you dress appropriately so that you can, you don't feel too cold or hot outside. And then also stay with the group. We may have to break up in many groups with different tour guides. So when you are following a tour guide, make sure that you're staying with them, that you're listening to them, that you're asking questions and you're engaging. Don't be way back in the back, walking all slow, like to stay with the group and so that we can get to the college campus safely and efficiently, and that way we can all get back together. But people are going to be on campus and they're definitely going to see you in your Trio Talent shirt, shirts. That was a little tongue tie. So again, please represent yourself and all of us very well. I just wanted to add that about the college piece. So we're going to go to what to bring. All right. So in general, what to bring, of course, your personal items. So again, I want you to look at the weather for the different areas we're going to be going into. We will send you that itinerary so you can see that. But again, I've kind of noted it's in the upper 50s, 60s in some of the areas. So it's not going to be too bad, but make sure you dress appropriately. and still appropriately, right? Ladies, no crop tops, you know, we're not trying to show all of their skin, and actually we'll still have at least a trio talent shirts for a day. It's not like you wear it every day. But still we want to be appropriate and show ourselves to our best ability. So make sure you bring plenty of things that you need, you know, your toiletries, whatever you would pack to go on a trip or to something like that. You want to make sure you bring, but don't overpack. We're only there for 3 days. We're going to be busy all 3 of those days. So no need to overpack, but make sure you have what you need. Again, bring your vaccination card, your ID, your 2 negative COVID results. We will have that on hand, but it does not hurt for you to have it personally, whether it's in your email, whether you've printed it out. Make sure that you have that. Of course, if you have any medicines, we are not allowed to administer medicines to you. So please make sure that you bring any medication that you may need to administer to yourself. And then any spending money. Again, if you do decide, like while we're there on the college tour, maybe we'll have time to go into a bookstore and you can get some of their souvenirs. So you're allowed to do that as well. Anything I'm missing on that one, Mr. Blandon?
No, and like I said, just make sure you bring your medication, anything. If you have allergies, if you in need of an EpiPen or anything like that, make sure you bring it with you. We are first aid and certified, but we also just need that to be on hand, so you already know those things. If you have allergies, any food allergies, please let us know. Please let us know. Is in the chat, are we supposed to bring business casual outfit for the play?
That's a great question, Alyssa. No, you don't have to. You don't have to, but that's not required. They have no typical dress requirement for that.
Right.
But still, yeah, I mean, if you want to dress up nicer, you definitely can. That doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt. But that's not
Just
one of our requirements.
Right. Just make sure you're comfortable, and like we said, nothing explicit or any vulgar language. Make sure you're dressing for the weather. Pay attention to it. Understand it's going to be colder in the morning than it will be in the afternoon. Temperature may change. It's easier to take off layers and try to think that I can go put on layers. Also, pay attention to the times and the itinerary. Leaving the hotel, all those things. We'll get to that with the itinerary, but just make sure we're not going to double back. You leave your phone, leave your charger, anything like that, you know. So just make sure you have those items with you.
Okay, let's go a little bit into the itinerary. So drop off and pick up. Okay, so on Monday morning, we are going to be picking up our Decatur students at 5:15 in the morning from the Walmart. And I don't know if there's more than one Walmart. Is there only one Walmart?
It's on Prospect.
Okay, so just the Walmart on Prospect. We will pick them up at 5:15. So it's best to be there at 5. I know it's early, but we got to travel to Chicago. So please be there at 5:15 for Champaign. Students, please arrive no later than 6 a.m. because we will be boarding by 6:15 a.m. for Champaign. And that's going to be at the Office of Minority Student Affairs. So right at the Turner Student Services building where our office is, that is in our signatures, you know, that from our emails, but again, it will be in the itinerary that we send you. So that's where we will be picking up our Champaign-Urbana students is on campus. Okay, Wednesday, March 16th is the same locations, but we're dropping you off. So we're going to be in Decatur at 6 p.m. We're going to let you guys take a little bit of time to, you know, get picked up, get your luggage off the bus, and then we'll head to Champaign and hopefully be back by 7:30. As far as drop off goes, you know, hopefully those are the correct times. They shouldn't really change that much, but of course your student or you as a student, please communicate with your families. You know, we'll tell you we're so far out, maybe like we're 30 minutes away, so that they know to be ready to come and pick you up, because we don't really have the ability to just like kind of wait around for your parents to come. I mean, we will because we don't have a choice, but at the same time, we really do need to keep things moving so that we can also get the charter bus back to where they need to go. We only have them for a certain time frame. So please keep that in mind, that pickup is pickup and drop off is drop off at their assigned times. Okay, just a quick rundown, and I'm going to go through another itinerary. I'll show you what we will send you, but this is what we're going to be doing each day. So on Monday, we're going to be visiting Elmhurst University, which is in Elmhurst, Illinois. And then we're going to travel to North Central College, which is in Naperville. And then for the evening, we're going to go to Dave & Buster's and have some fun. And that's where we're also going to eat dinner. And then on Tuesday, we're going to go to Trinity Christian College, which is in Palos Heights, Illinois. It's a south suburb. I should mention we wanted to make sure that you guys had a variety of colleges. That's our goal, is that you visit a variety of colleges: small, big, public, private. Well, for Chicago's purposes, we have the West Side, South Side, North Suburbs, City of Chicago. So we really have picked a well-rounded group of colleges for you guys to visit. So Elmhurst and North Central are both on like the west suburbs of Chicago. Trinity Christian is a south suburb. Lake Forest College is in Lake Forest, Illinois, all the way on the north suburbs of Chicago. And then we're going to be going to a Broadway place Tuesday night. So that's the place that's requiring the COVID, because any place that's doing plays and musicals and shows that's still offering food, things of that nature, they are still requiring the negative COVID test and vaccinations. But again, if you don't have a vaccination, the negative COVID test should work. And then Wednesday, we're going to be in the city. So we're going to go to Loyola, University of Chicago, and then University of Illinois at Chicago. And we're going to depart from UIC and come directly home. We may stop on the way home just to get something to eat, like at McDonald's or something, but we're still going to be moving and grooving all the way home. So that is kind of the layout of like where we're going to be going and what our evening activities are. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop sharing for a second, and I'm going to share with you our actual itinerary, so you can just kind of see what this looks like. Again, this is what's going to be mailed to you, or not mailed to you, but emailed to you. So you will have this as well. Students will have this on hand. Can everybody see that itinerary? Yes? Nod heads?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So this is just kind of, again, what it looks like. So for an example, on Monday, again, we're going to be at Decatur at 5:15. We're going to be at in Champaign at 6. We're going to leave Champaign at 6:30 and head to Elmhurst. We're going to have breakfast on the way. So that's when we're eating Einstein bagels. We just put that order in. So we'll pick that up and have it ready for you to eat on the bus. And then we'll arrive at Elmhurst. We'll take a break, go bathroom break. And then we'll go on the tour at 10. And normally what college visits do is they do their tour and they do an admissions presentation, and then maybe they'll have a student panel. It depends on what all they can fit into those hours. Then we're going to eat lunch at Elmhurst University, and then we're going to leave there and go to North Central College. So they're about like 35 minutes away. They're not too far from each other. And then from there, after North Central College, we're going to go to Dave & Buster's. Okay, I'm sorry if you guys hear my baby. He's at my door banging on it. He's trying to get in. I have a 16-month-old. And then from there, after Dave & Buster's, we're going to go to the hotel. So we're not going to go to the hotel until night. That's when we're checking in. It's about 8 p.m. at night. Okay, so everything will be on the bus until then. Tuesday, we'll get up and we'll head to Trinity Christian College. And then from there, we'll eat lunch at Trinity Christian. Then we'll go to Lake Forest College here. And then once we leave Lake Forest College, we'll go back to the hotel at around 5 p.m. And that's when we will eat Illuminati's dinner for pizza. And then from there, then we will walk to the Broadway. So our hotel is about a 7-minute walk to the Broadway. So the bus will not be near us. There's no place for it to park at the hotel. So we're going to walk. It's going to be fine. And it's not far. So a quick 7-minute walk and we'll be at the Broadway. Okay. And then after that, we'll walk back to the hotel. And then on Wednesday, we're going to get up. We're going to go to Loyola in the morning. And then we're going to go from Loyola to UIC. And then from UIC, again, we're going to head back home. So we'll go to Decatur first, and then we'll drop off students in Champaign. Okay. So that is what that looks like. And then going back to the PowerPoint real quick for this last slide. So next steps. So again, next steps, please take your PCR COVID test on Saturday, not a home test. Go to a clinic or Walgreens, please. Submit any missing documents that we have or that you have. Submit all your COVID results. So as they're coming in, please just email those to me. Make sure you're packing your bag, your mask, ID, vaccination card, negative COVID tests. Arrive at your pickup destination on time. We have to be at the college on time or we miss the tour. They only give tours at so many times, so we really don't want to miss our time. And then, of course, if you have any questions at all, please reach out to me via email or give me a call. Okay. So I see some questions in the chat. Unless Mr. Braylon, do you have anything to add to that before we start answering questions in the chat? Okay. So let's see. Oh, maybe you've already been answering them, but in case anybody has not been looking in the chat, will food be provided or do we need to bring money for food? So we will make sure food is provided. Oh, I didn't mention breakfast. So on the way to college on Monday, we're providing Einstein, but then on Tuesday and Wednesday, we have the continental breakfast at the hotel. So that will be provided there. And then again, we're either providing lunch at the colleges or we're going to eat somewhere else. I think, wait, Monday's Elmhurst, Tuesday's lunch is Tuesday's lunch is Trinity Christian and Wednesday's lunch is UIC. So all 3 lunches will be on college campuses. And then the dinners again are going to be Dave and Buster's, Illuminati's. And then Wednesday we're on our way home. But if we need to, we'll stop at like McDonald's or some fast food joint on the way home. So Trio Talent Search is providing all of those meals. But again, and then we also have a snack bag. We made a really decent snack bag for y'all, you guys. So we have plenty of snacks in this bag that you guys can eat at your leisure as well. Okay. Let's see. Will we have any contact with parents during the trip? Of course, you're more than welcome to contact your parents during the trip. Of course, just don't do it during a college tour or the admissions presentation or the play. But other than that, while we're on the bus, while you're in the hotel, while you're at Dave and Buster's, unless it's an emergency, then yes, you could definitely, talk to your family, but let us know, like if it's during a college tour or the presentation, like, oh, I really need to call my mom or my mom's calling me, we would like to be in the know of that type of situation. But in general, yes, you can definitely talk to your parents. Is the mall COVID testing considered a PCR test? That's a good question. That's a good question, Kelly. I don't know that answer. I wish I did. I don't know, but maybe we can look that up and email you guys that answer. I know I did look up like the Shield test, which I think is still available and open to anybody at Parkland. You could just take it as a person in the community. That one I know is PCR. So I don't know if that's the same as what they do at the mall. That's a good question. Where are we submitting COVID test results? Just to my email, Aaliyah. So I've been sending you guys thousands of emails. So you could just take a picture of it, or if they email it to you, you could just forward me the email. So it's the Walmart by the mall in Decatur. I've actually not been to Decatur. So is it by the mall, Mr. Blandon?
Yeah, 4224 Prospect. It's the one that has the Burger King in front, right when you come off of what exit is that? I forget what exit, but it's the main exit right next to Sam's Club.
Cool. Will each student have an individual hotel room? Yes, great question. Thank you for asking. So let's talk about the hotel rooms. No, you guys will not have an individual hotel room. There will be 2 people per room. So of course, girls will be in a room and boys will be in a room. I think though there is one, because we have 5 boys. No, we don't have 5 boys. We have 4. So no, everybody will have somebody. Everybody will have somebody. So we have created room assignments, which we will go over those on Monday. We did put students together with students in their school, unless it was an odd number. And then there may be a student who is with another student from another school. If of course, like it comes down to, oh my gosh, I really want to be with my friend who's on the trip and I'm not in her room, we can talk about it. It's not like we weren't trying to keep people together if we knew they were friends, but I don't know everybody, especially from the schools that Mr. Blandon is in. So I was just kind of putting people together, even though they're just based on their schools, but we can review that. And then of course, be respectful, right? Like, even if you may not be friends necessarily at your schools together, or again, if you're with somebody you don't know at all, I want you guys to actually use this as an opportunity to understand what college is like. because this is what college is like. You may be rooming in a residence hall, in a dorm, right, with somebody you don't know. So this is the opportunity for you to just learn to live with them for that night, you know, and hopefully, you know, there's no issues, but if something does arise, we're going to be there and you can bring it to our attention. But, you know, really by the time we get back, you're going to probably just be ready to go to bed because we got to get up in the morning anyways early and start it all over again. So, just know though that you will have somebody in the room with you. So there are double beds, but you won't be by yourself. Great question. Will copies of the cards and ID be acceptable? Yes, absolutely. Copies are accepted. Will I be able to carry a backpack on the college tours? Yes, you can carry a backpack. That's not a problem. I mean, you know, you just don't want it to be too heavy. So don't have a lot of stuff in there. Your back might start hurting during the walk because the tours can be about an hour. So just keep that in mind. There is a COVID test called an NAAT test. Is this acceptable? I don't know. I would say because on the website from specifically the Broadway, I'll say the first test is we're not going to be, you know, we'll be more lenient towards it, but because the Broadway at Chicago's website for COVID policy specifically says it has to be a PCR test 72 hours in advance or a 6-hour antigen. And obviously we just can't do 6-hour antigens. We're going to be busy and we have no way to test you guys in Chicago. We would recommend following their policy as far as the PCR. Now, again, if you cannot get it because depending on where you go, that's not available and it's this NAAT, then take that. We'd rather you have a test done and it shows negative rather than not taking a test. Okay. And we will work with the Broadway when we get there, you know, and try to finagle some stuff. So please, regardless, just get tested and we'll go from there. And then the mall test says PCR on the results. Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much for that insight. Thank you. Mr. Blandon put his contact number in the chat. So if you have a pen and paper, and again, you're not looking at the chat, I can give you that number. I'll backtrack to it so that you can get some pen and paper out. And I will also give you my number as well. So I'll do that at the end so everybody can have pen and paper ready to reach out to us with emergencies.
And
yes.
with emergencies, I always ask students, please come to Miss Courtney or myself. We also have another chaperone, Miss Kalisa Kunkel. She's gone on trips before. Please come to us first, so we're at least aware of whatever the problem may be before it escalates. Because it may be something that we can diffuse ourselves or we can correct it. But if we don't know, and then we get a message or a phone call early hours in the morning saying there's a problem, we still got to come to you to figure out what it actually is. So we just ask as students to self-advocate for yourself, to come to us and try to explain what it may be. Also with the room assignments, do not take it upon yourself to switch, because when we do room checks, we're going to be looking for those people in the room. Now, if you took it upon yourself, you'll be escorted back to the room which is assigned. But like Ms. Courtney said, everything that was done for these trips, as far as even the letter of recommendation, those are things you're going to have to be asking for once you get ready to go to college, trade, or anything. Somebody's going to have to vouch for you and your character. As far as when you walk around the school, you never know who's paying attention to you. Also, how you carry yourself on the trips. Also, being alone. Sometimes this might be some of your first time being without your parents on the trip. Just knowing how to act, how to conduct yourself, and to just be a model student while you're on the trip with Trio Talent Search.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And then I see that Kelly put in the chat a link. I will send you guys this link. It lists the PCR testing sites. I'm not sure. I haven't opened the link. Kelly, if you could put in the chat, do you know if that includes Decatur sites or is that just Champaign-Urbana?
That's just Champaign, CUP.
Okay, is that just
Health.
Champaign? Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry for Decatur. We'll have to see if we can find a Decatur or somewhere next to Decatur. But if you could come to Champaign on Saturday and take a PCR test, or again, we don't want that to hold you back 100%. So please just try to get a COVID test, from anywhere that is near you. Okay. So real quick for contact, I'm sorry, somebody, I'm sure it's a student trying to get a hold in touch with me right now. For Curtis's contact, so if you got a pen and paper, I'm gonna go ahead and let you write this down. 708-232-3297. Okay. That is Curtis's phone. And then for mine, I'm going to put mine in the chat, but mine is 217-766-0464. I say so many numbers these days, I don't even remember my own. So that's mine. Aaliyah, PCR tests are available at pretty much all Walgreens in Decatur. Results will likely not come until Tuesday though, because Sunday won't be counted in the 48-hour turnaround. Thank you for that information. And you know what, again, we understand that. So we would like to have the 2 negative before you get on the bus, but we know because we're asking for the Saturday to be in within the 72-hour period for the play on Tuesday, we know. But I mean, thankfully, hopefully it will come by Tuesday so that we can successfully get into the venue that night. So hopefully they don't come Tuesday night or Wednesday morning. So that's fine, but please do take it on Saturday.
And with anything, if you're not feeling well or anything like that, please make us aware of it. Regardless of what it may be, just make us aware of it. Also, if you're not feeling well before the trip, we ask you to do the same. Just let us know that you're not feeling well and all those other things. You won't be penalized if you have to pull out at the last minute. We hope that doesn't happen, but we know things do happen. But yeah, so basically we're just saying that we want to try to cover all the bases in order for us to have a case regardless of what when we're going to these places. So if they have anything to rebut, at least we have some type of test on site, regardless of what, saying that you were negative.
So that's all we have for you guys. Are there any other questions? You can either put them in the chat or you can raise your hand and then we can call on you. But that is the itinerary. That's what we're going to be doing. We're really looking forward to it with you guys. Just 3 days, so you can come back and enjoy your next 2 days of your spring break. But again, we're looking forward to it, but we want you guys to really come like understanding again, like you're not just going to be in Chicago, right? Or the suburbs. You're not just going to be on a trip. You're really going because you are trying to understand and learn what it's like to be on a college campus. When you go to a small campus versus a really large campus, like take that into account. What does that feel like? What does that look like? How do you feel moving in that type of space, right? When you're learning through the admissions presentations, what the different colleges offer, right? Or what services are available or what majors are available. Take that stuff into account and ask questions. They love questions. And the one thing they'll do is they'll ask, are there any questions? And then it's dead silent in the room. You know, so come prepared, and we'll actually have a list of some questions that you can ask them
Well, thank you.
ahead of time, so it won't be that you are necessarily forgetting any questions in particular. But we want you to just be mindful to be engaged in this experience and to have a good time. So just finishing up. Oh yeah, there was another question in the chat. Great question. How many chaperones are going? So 3. There's going to be 3 of us. So yes, it's a 10-to-1 ratio. We have to have 1 chaperone per 10 students, and we currently have 28 students. So that's how that works out. Is the trio office number still 217-333-0056? Yes.
Yes.
That is it. But again, if you're going to try to call us while we're going on the trip, use the numbers that we just provided you earlier, because they're just going to forward you to us anyways, and it's might as well just reach out to us. Any other questions? So just to finish up, I will be sending all of you the same. If you're on this call, that means you've got some type of email, or somebody showed you the email with the link. I will send you the full itinerary. I will send you the link for PCR Covet tests, and I will Was there something else I was supposed to send? Itinerary, PCR, COVID tests. Oh, one more thing. I will send you a link for the students to complete for Elmhurst. They kind of have this special link they want their students to complete. So I will send that for students to complete. Nothing big, just name, grade, school, potential major, if you know what you want to do. That way they kind of know what to talk about when they're there. Like, oh, we know we have 10 students here who are interested in, this major. Let's talk about it. So we'll just get that done beforehand. So, well, if nobody else has any lingering questions, of course, tomorrow, reach out to us with any other questions that may come up. The weekend will kind of, be just prepping ourselves. So we probably won't be like responding necessarily to any phone calls or emails, but if anything is absolutely dire, please feel free to reach out. Of course, in preparation for Monday morning, it's going to be early. So make sure you get your rest, your sleep, and be ready to be at your locations early. Okay. Thank you guys for being here. We really do appreciate it. You have a good rest of your night.